Britney Spears, The Woman in Me, the autobiography. This is a book that created quite the stir hype when it was announced. There was a lot of, we will say, noise surrounding this book. There was a lot of assumptions about this book. There was a lot of people who had their opinions. There was a lot of people, even after the book came out and people read it, a lot of things that you could tell people hadn't truly really read it. It's kind of more like they skimmed through it, because if you really read this book, you will see that this book is about a girl who the only thing she wanted was to be creative. She wanted to basically perform and create and just be her, and what she got instead was a lot of, I mean, she still got to create, she still got to perform, but she also ended up in a world that took advantage of her, tightly controlled her, and kind of mentally incapacitated her. And as you read this book, you will find that, yes, it seems choppy. You will find that even though the timeline is linear and stuff, and the events in it it's her telling her story from her point of view. But the fascinating part of it is that she's not pointing fingers. She's not saying this person did this person did that. She's not making anybody really out to be the bad guy of her story. She's just given the facts of her point of view of events that happened and what her thought process was, and to the players that were a part of these moments that made her. And by doing that, she's actually saying and revealing a lot more, especially about the characters surrounding her, than she realizes. And that's what makes this book so absolutely fascinating to read. Now, this is just a generalized kind of introduction review of this book. I am going to make probably a couple of companion videos to go a little bit more depth on certain parts of the book, because those particular parts do deserve to have their moment. But right now, I just want to take this time to point out the fact that Britney Spears was a very high-profile celebrity. She is very beloved. She has a fan base where many of us were like 7, 8 years old when she came out, and we loved her music. We loved her videos. We loved, like, everybody wanted a piece of Britney, or more like they wanted to either be her, meet her, what have you. And the thing is that even though in the public eye, like, she was physically growing up and her music changed and matured and how she carried herself physically, what we saw physically happening and all the stuff that was happening mentally, like, it takes a very, very strong person. And I will tell you, I will give credit where credit is due, because not a lot of people would be able to hang on as long as she did, or even live the life she did. And the thing is that Britney Spears, at the end of the day, she may have been taken advantage by a lot of people, and a lot of people are quick to point fingers that it was her mom and dad and her husband and everybody else. But what you realize reading this is that, yes, all of those people played a part, but what was portrayed publicly isn't exactly what happened behind the scenes. So, for example, in the beginning, Britney Spears' father doesn't seem to have been a part of the picture, not until he could legally basically take over Britney Spears and her and what she had built. It's almost like he didn't give a crap until he could gain something. And so, to touch on that, we kind of do have to take this book a little bit piece by piece, and we also have to keep in mind that this book is the only thing other than her music that is truly Britney's voice. And everything else that we have been subjected to over the years hasn't been Britney. It hasn't been. It's been the team that was put together that surrounded her. Now, I'm not saying it was everybody, because the way she talks and stuff, you can tell there was truly genuine people around her, but we also have to take into account that there was not so nice people around her either. So, because of the platforms that I'm putting this on, it's going to take a couple of videos. But I just wanted to start off with just a kind of a generalization, and then there's going to be a few videos to companionize this so that we can kind of go a little bit in depth, but not enough videos that's all this is about. This is just, I just wanted to start with this because this is the book I started with.